Hey lollies, this is Cal-chan from the Anime HQ, and these are going to be my top 10 favorite anime fights. Now first things first, there will be spoilers in this video. I will mention the name of the anime, and then you have enough time to click away hopefully. And another thing, if your favorite fight isn't on here, remember there are plenty of anime fights, and we may not just share the same opinion anyway, and that's okay because there's only going to be 10 anime fights on this. There's like, what, 4 million people? But I'm not going to do that joke. Number 10 is Expelled from Paradise, the final mecha fight. Now, typically I don't usually enjoy mecha fights. They tend to bore me, they're explosion-y, they do nothing, but this fight just had me engrossed the whole entire time. My eyes were like glued on the screen, the choreography was great, and for a show that didn't take itself very seriously, this fight was just so amazing in the terms of choreography and animation, especially for it being completely CGI. Number 9 is from Noragami. This is Yato vs. Rabo, and this is based bones. The animation on this fight was great. It just, every little detail, every little bit of animation that they put into this, and even the build up to the fight was great. The only problem with this fight is kind of the outcome of it, you know, it kind of cheesy and cliche for how it does that, but overall with the beautiful animation and great soundtrack that was going on at the time, I really loved this fight. Number 8 is from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and this would be Wrath vs. Scar. Now, you could argue that some of the other fights in Brotherhood were better, but I just really like the whole meaning behind this fight, even though some of the animation may not have been up to par with some of the other fights, but I just really liked the fact that it was Wrath vs. Scar. I just wanted to see that fight the whole entire time, and the show got it through. And you may have been noticing something. This is also animated by Studio Bones, because Bones is just great with fights. Number 7 is from Magi, The Kingdom of Magic. Yes, not the Labyrinth of Magic, which is my favorite out of the 2 seasons so far, but is The Kingdom of Magic. It would be Alladin vs. Titus. His name sucks, okay? But their magic fight in like episode 13 or something was just something to behold. Magi had the peak of its animation right there. There was just so many cool magic effects, some great choreography, and just the outcome in general of the fight was great. The reveal of what they did in this fight was amazing, and I am trying not to say too much not to spoil certain things. Number 6 is Fate Zero, Saber vs. Lancer. Now, this includes the fight in Season 1, and then it includes all of the outcome that happens later on, and I'm pretty sure Season 2, but it includes all of it. The beginning part in Season 1 and then Season 2. This is what made Fate Zero for me in certain parts. This fight was actually really well handled. It had great choreography, had a really great outcome. It was basically a huge plot twist in the show, and I really enjoyed watching it throughout the whole entire part of the scene, and this was just my favorite fight of Fate Zero in general. You know, you also have all the other fights in Fate Zero, but to me, this was my favorite fight. Number 5, and it's gonna sound weird when I say this because, yeah, number 5 is from Naruto Shippuuden. Yeah, Naruto Shippuuden, you know, a show I'm not super fond of, besides, you know, first season for the most part until it gets to filler, is Kakashi vs. Obito, and I thought this might be a cliche one to put on the list, but I just had to. It has great choreography, great meaning, great animation, soundtrack. It's just like they put all of the budget into this fight, and when I watch this fight, I'm not even a huge fan, like you can just tell the work and effort these animators put into this fight, and it to me was just downright insane, and I just loved the fact that they put so much effort into it. There's great emotions, just great everything in this fight. Number 4 is from Hunter x Hunter 2011, and you're all going to think I'm going to pick the most generic one that everybody picks, but I'm actually going to pick one from the Greed Island arc, Gon vs. Genthru or the Bomber. And this whole fight, like, just was, I don't know, there was just something about it, you know, Greed Island is one of my favorite arcs. It had the volleyball stuff, and then it just had this fight, and you see Gon finally being crazy. Like, I mean, he's already been crazy before, basically, with how he handles situations and pain and tolerance, but it was just really cool to see how he handled this situation and the strategy done behind the fight, not to mention the choreography and the animation, as I've said before to all the others. Madhouse does a great job with their shows, and I just expected nothing less. Number 3, and it's gonna be a generic pick for me because I kind of fanboy over this fight, is Fate Kaleid Linear Prisma Illya, which would be Illya vs. Alter Saber. And dude, there was just so much build-up, guys. Like, all of the build-up in this show to this fight was insane. Their animation was gorgeous, and just the choreography, everything about this was like, I've seen this fight like 10 or 12 times now, 10 to 12 times, and every single time I'm on the edge of my seat, I know the outcome. It's just great. It's short fight, but just the build-up and everything to it, the choreography. I mean, Silverlink just did a great, if not fantastic job on this fight. Number 2 is from Sword of the Stranger, Nanashi vs. Luo-Lang. Fudging Chinese names. This is Japanese anime. What? Sorry. Anyway, this is again by Studio Bones. This fight is basically why you watch this movie. Its animation is made in 2007, and it literally doesn't look dated at all. It doesn't look dated. It looks better than some of the 2015 stuff that is airing now. This fight has some of the best choreography I've ever seen. In fact, it probably has the best choreography out of everything, including my number 1 on this list. The animation and the soundtrack, the build up to this fight of the movie was just straight up gorgeous. Like, everything about the animation is gorgeous. The build up is great, and of course you're seeing a little bit of it on screen right now, and it's just absolutely amazing, like just downright. Number 1 is not just my favorite fight in general, it is literally in my top 5 favorite anime endings ever. It is Katanagatari Shichika vs. Emonzaemon. Fudge his name. I don't need these complicated names here. And it really isn't the animation. Granted, the animation's pretty good, but it's more the meaning behind this fight, which I will not spoil for you. And if you do it in the comments, I'll just remove it anyway for other people, so other people can get spoiled. The meaning of this fight, everything about this fight just was emotional, downright amazing. Just everything about it, the dialogue, the soundtrack, and it just everything. Literally, you have so much build up to this fight that it is downright my favorite fight. There's just nothing wrong with this fight. I couldn't find anything wrong with this fight. Nothing. And just this fight alone, even though Katanagatari is so dialogue based, I think this just everybody should just go watch it just for that build up to that one. Like, Katanagatari has good fights, but man, this fight's really good. And I guess I could just stop fanboying anyway. Thank you guys so much for joining my top 10 anime fights. Remember, not everybody has the same favorite opinions, whatever, blah blah blah, everything's opinionated. Thank you my lollies so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a rating, and remember, no spoilers on any of these shows, because, you know, in the comments if people read, I don't know, whatever. Just go watch the anime.